Your subconscious controls 95% of your life. Welcome back to the Wanna Be Mindful podcast. I'm here with world-class in training philosopher and enthusiast of mindfulness, Jarrod. And I'm Sean. I am also an enthusiast of mindfulness, and we're here to talk about the supremacy, the all reigning power of the subconscious, the inner workings of your subconscious. What is it? What does it do? It, Jarrod, take us away.
What is it doing? Buttered sausage.
That's right.
This is a topic that we don't even really think about. That's why it's called the subconscious. It's buried deep down in that skull of ours, and we don't bring it to light enough. We don't think about it enough. We don't bring it into our lives enough. So today we're talking about the inner workings of it, why it's there, what it's doing, and how to realize it into our lives. Certain strategies that we can deploy out to program and deprogram this thing that we call our subconscious. And yeah, we're going to deep dive into it today, folks. So hope you're comfortable, hope you're seated well, and yeah, let's get right into this blunderbuster of a topic.
Stay mindful.
Stay mindful.
All right. So, the subconscious. What a beautiful, beautiful thing. Such a hidden gem in society. You know, a lot of people aren't really educated on what is the subconscious. You know, we do things consciously, but from the statement I made earlier, the first thing I said, the subconscious controls 95% of your life. Just take that in. Really take that in for a second. Let's absorb what that means. What does that mean?
And what is the subconscious, too?
Okay.
What is the subconscious? It's that part of our mind that we're not fully aware of. Just like we said, it's deep, far down there, and it influences our actions and our behaviors without us even realizing it most of the time.
Another word for it is the non-conscious. Subconscious, non-conscious, it's unconscious, like the non-conscious, basically. So it's not really awake. Basically, it's in the back seat, and it's taking in everything you're seeing, everything you learn, everything. All five of your senses that your conscious has is being implemented into that subconscious, that non-conscious part of your brain.
Mm-hmm. And you start absorbing all this information when you're a young child, when you're starting out life. Your subconscious starts working before you even realize it. Before you can even walk and talk, your subconscious is working. It's building in certain patterns of your thoughts, certain patterns of actions, and we may not even remember it, but those different things that are put into our minds when we're really young are there for a reason, and they make up who we are without even realizing it. So it can go as far as when you're a little baby and you're being held, and if your mother holds you, you know, like when you're making a fuss, when you're crapping your pants, when you're pissing your pants, you know, you're making a fuss, and if your mother comes and holds you, or she yells at you, per se, you know, like gives you some love and attention, or if she yells at you, that's already programming your mind that if you keep crying, of what you're going to get from her. And so it's different things like that that start building your subconscious. If you receive love, or if you receive resentment or negativity, or, you know, non-action, stuff like that. So it can start at the very, very basis of that, even. So yeah. And then moving on, you can start to feel that subconscious. I mean, you could still not even be realizing this when you're a young kid going through school, how you go to school, how you're receiving, processing information, how you fit in with the other kids in your classes, the different things that they're showing you, and what you're being told is cool and what's not. It's different for every person in every environment, but that is building your subconscious without you even realizing it. the different races in your school, how many you have of different Asian kids, of Indian kids, of black kids. You're building your basis and your biases around those people and what people are being and what they're telling you. And whether it's even on your weather of your environment, you're building the subconscious thoughts around cold, around hot, around moderate temperatures. You're building all those different thoughts around these things, and it's being built whether you know it or not. And so this is pretty much the staging point of your life. It's staging your subconscious. It's building it as you grow older. And so once you grow older to high school and being a full adult, your subconscious is constructed very well at that point. If you think about all the different things you've been through life, relationships, what you've learned from school, what you've anything that you've done, all the
Seen in
experiences.
social groups, experiences, the programmed, basically you've been programmed and your identity is programmed
Mm-hmm.
now from your subconscious. Your values, your identity, it has already been made from the experiences of growing up as a child.
Yeah, it's already programmed in your mind. And so by the time we reach adulthood, we're programmed to do certain things. Like the first instance of seeing somebody like an Asian kid, you may have thought of the Asian kids in your school to be the smartest kids and whatnot, or whatever it may be. And so you see an Asian dude and you instantly think that he's harmless. He's probably a smart dude. He, is quiet. Like you are instantly filled in with a bus of information that you're not even realizing, that is just being, that it's so intertwined with your mind and so consistent with your thinking that it's just there. That's your subconscious working. It's so deep down buried in there that it's just automatic for you. And so that automatic information, once it hits you, you don't even think about it. You use it, and then you start to make decisions based off that, and you could not even think about it. Like you just see this dude walking on the street, and you're instantly filled with that. And so the actions that you do after that are going to be placed off your subconscious working. And yeah, and so it can be simple as passing somebody on the side of the street, just like I said, just like a random dude. But you, that first instance when you see him, you're going to use all that information, all those biases, all the different experiences that you've had throughout your life. You're instantly putting on it with your subconscious mind. And that's an example of how it can be used in your daily life without you even realizing it. That's all the subconscious thoughts, the subconscious biases, and all the subconscious information that just hits you, and it's so automatic that you don't even realize it.
That's a great example. Yeah, movies, TV shows. That's why it's crazy to see like how much information that our subconscious is just
Mm-hmm.
eating up from our phones, news channels, TV shows, as young children. You know,
Yeah, and like Jaws. If that's your only experience of seeing a shark, you could learn about sharks in school, but if your experience of a shark is Jaws, then when you think or see of a shark, you're subconsciously going to be thinking of this ferocious fucking monster that just rips people in half. This
scary.
and yeah, the scary animal that's just tenacious.
Dun, 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 dun. It just eats you, brains out. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right. Great
so
examples, Jared.
yeah, so just like that, just as something as seeing one movie could impact your childhood and impact the rest of your life and completely form this whole subconscious
Belief.
thought and belief around one particular object. And yeah, if you're constantly reminded about Jaws and you think of Jaws when you see sharks, then boom, that's what you're going to think about. And sharks don't even kill that many people in a year. And I'm actually kind of interested on how many they do kill, because I feel like I've looked this up
It's a
before.
very
But
low number Pretty sure it's 3 a year.
Really?
Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 a year. Might be even less.
Fewer than 10 deaths a year due to sharks.
Fewer than 10. Could be 3.
And around 2,000 people die every year from being struck by lightning.
Whoa.
So lightning is more deadly than a shark. Well, what would you rather do? Would you rather get struck by lightning
Yeah.
or get just
Yeah.
torn apart by a shark?
Lightning.
Lightning?
You have a chance of living, I think, a little bit too.
Put it in the comments. Would you rather be torn apart by a shark or get struck by lightning?
Yeah, if you choose being torn apart by a shark, you're a psychopath. But if you can subscribe and like the video, that would help the channel out a lot. Thank you.
It's a Want to Be Mindful podcast. We're getting mindful.
That's right. So, great examples as how the subconscious is already starting off your imprint of your values, your beliefs as a young child. I mean, you can't really control how what your parents teach you or what they've done to you, how they responded to you in reactions of situations. You can't control that. That is just now it's part of you. But there's a way to reprogram your subconscious.
And that's a great example too that you put, like, your parents. Your parents are your biggest influencers in your life. So if they have an opinion on money, an opinion on certain races of other people, like, in the South, they've been known throughout history to be discriminatory towards certain races. So those certain thoughts, from your parents most of the time are going to be a heavy influence on your certain biases and can be a big factor in how you treat people, how you treat money, and then, like, this reprogramming stage, this programming that you do throughout your life in your childhood that builds you up and builds that subconscious of how you instantly dissect things. And then, like, you're talking about the reprogramming. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Fine.
the reprogramming, go for it.
Oh, yeah, the reprogramming. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, like I like to say, like we both like to say. You can reprogram your subconscious to be on your side, to get what you want, to live the lifestyle that you've always dreamed of. It's not that far away. You just got to work with what you got, which is your brain. And your brain is very powerful. So, reprogramming your subconscious, ways of doing this. Meditation is a beautiful one. Meditating, clarity of mind starts to come in. You start clearing your mind. You start noticing your thoughts as cars driving on the highway. You just watch them go by. You don't hold on to them. You focus on your breath. You be aware in the present moment. And what you think about after you meditate is going to be strongly put into your subconscious. So if you want to reprogram your subconscious, you need to consciously communicate that new programming that you want to implement, which means basically you're meditating, you can tell yourself things, and your subconscious will eat it and will store that information. And then, as you be consistent, just like going to the gym and working out, as you're consistent, you'll start reprogramming your subconscious to live the life you've always wanted to live.
Mm-hmm.
Science estimates that it controls 95% of your life. Science estimates that. So, that being said, reprogramming is a beautiful thing. You can also do it with a guided visualization. The word always gets me.
Guided visualization.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's a nice word.
Yeah, basically just listening to. There's great videos on YouTube of listening to nice, voices, basically telling you to close your eyes and to think. It paints the picture. You paint it in your head using imagery and your imagination, and you just focus on that moment. What do you have to say about reprogramming, Jarrod?
So that's a cool part about this self-development process. This goes into the fold of every nuance and aspect of self-development, is reprogramming ourselves, basically, and that's reprogramming the subconscious. And we can do this by asking ourselves these essential questions. So just like what we were talking about earlier with our subconscious being programmed by our parents, that being a heavy influence. So we could have this certain thought process about money. Money could have been scarce. Money could have been something that, wasn't like a common thing when you were a kid. So you have certain thought process about money as you grow a little bit older, that it's a scarce thing, that's hard to achieve, that's hard to get in your life. So with this, you can ask yourself, why you feel this certain way about money. And you take some time, and you can go back in your life and find moments that you've programmed yourself basically to have these certain thoughts. Whether it's parents, whether it's a certain moment in your life where you couldn't afford something, so it became a big deal to you. You were really heartbroken about not buying that new Xbox game or new PlayStation game, for example. So based off that moment, that memory in your life, you could think that, okay, money is scarce, it's valuable, and I need to get as much as of it as possible. And it can be hard to do. It can be very difficult to do. So we can reprogram ourselves by asking ourselves, like, why do I believe like money is scarce? And then you can break it down just like that, and then start to reprogram your mind by saying, okay, money is actually a very abundant thing. There's lots of money in the world. People can make it in very simple ways and start getting passive income, or just have an investment that blows up, or even winning the lottery, just instantly flooding your account just based off one action of buying a lottery ticket that hits big.
Right.
So you can reprogram your mind into thinking of certain things, because, like, is one the truth? Is one really the truth? Is money scarce? Is it very difficult to get, or is it easy to get and it's abundant? And so you can program your mind to whatever thinking that you want. And and it's about going after the truth as well. Like, what do you think? Is money abundant out there? Is it everywhere, or is it very scarce and difficult to do?
Right. So financial finances is a great example of this because I just have a feeling that most people out there, when they view money in their bank accounts, they're focusing on a lack of money. And that focus on a lack of money can lead to fear because you don't have money to pay your bills, or you're just scared, like damn, I need to make more money. You're
Mm-hmm.
focusing on the lack that leads to the emotion of fear. Now you have the thought and you have the emotion. That combined is going to lead, it's going to attract that event. It's going to attract that situation. It sends out a frequency that creates more lack. It
So
attracts
essentially,
more.
when you have the emotion of fear, like, you link it to money, or like when you see money, it links it to fear, is what you're
Right.
saying.
You
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that it could link it to anything that you
Mm-hmm.
fear. Anything that causes an emotion. If you see someone you don't like, you get mad or anxious. And then now you're just going to attract more of that because it's interlinked. It's going to be just what you think is what you create basically. So if you're thinking negative thoughts, it's going to attract negative thoughts. If you're thinking only focusing on the lack of money and that you're just scared and you're fearing that you're not going to make it, you're just going to attract more of that feeling. You're going to attract more of that reality. That's how the subconscious works.
Mm-hmm.
But if you reprogram your subconscious to thinking positively, to thinking, wow, actually I do have a lot of money and there's always more for me to get, you
Mm-hmm.
just turn into a positive feeling. That's so much more powerful than a negative feeling. Positive feelings are just 100 times more powerful. And you start believing it. The way you start believing it is by practicing it every day. That is how your body starts believing it. Even if you don't believe the words you're saying, the fact that you're saying them out loud, you're saying them into your inner dialogue, you're going to start believing it because your subconscious is starting to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Your subconscious doesn't care about good or bad, good thoughts or evil thoughts. It takes what it hears and it implements it into its brain, the brain part that controls everything.
Mm-hmm.
Your conscious, everything. So that's what reprogramming is about. It's
Yeah.
about attracting the good thoughts that you want because everyone wants good thoughts. Unless you want a bad life, you want negative thoughts, it's going to keep attracting. You need to get out of the rut. You need to make the shift.
Hmm.
There's an inner shift that you have to consciously make when you notice that you're feeling a bad thought or you're feeling a bad emotion. You need to ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Ask yourself that 3 times a day and then be honest with yourself. And if it's like a negative feeling and you're feeling mad, sad, down in the dumps, make the shift in that moment and think about something good. Think about a happy memory. Think about a happy future or something that made you feel good in the past and just be happy and then try to shift it
Hmm.
to happiness. And now you have the positive emotion and then you think a positive thought that is going to be attracted. That's what's going to be attracted into your life.
Hmm.
And you do that often, you're going to see results.
Hmm. And it's just like programming yourself as a kid, but actually programming yourself now with conscious effort, with awareness. You're programming it in the way that you want it to be programmed instead of programming it in the way that society and your
Gave you.
unawareness, yeah, it gave you. So this is taking control of your subconscious and whatever becomes automatic to you. You have the ability to build these habits and build these processes in your mind to make your subconscious think a certain way rather than just thinking of being autopilot. You bring awareness to what you want to think automatically about, what your automatic biases are. You can automatically judge somebody for being imperfect, judge how they look, judge how they talk, judge how anything about them. Or you could perceive them and just look at them the way they are and just not bring your judgments, not bring your biases into the equation, but just see them for how they really are. See how they work, see how they operate, see what you can learn from them. And it's all changed because I mean, a lot of us will instantly judge somebody. And I feel like that's a really common thing now is we instantly throw our judgments out there and it's normalized that we just judge people right away, and that brings our egos into the equation, that brings all of our biases into the equation, rather than if we perceive them for just how they are, not bringing our egos into the equations, then we just see it for how it really is, and we don't see the negatives, we don't see the good parts, we just see it for how it really is. And that can be a powerful place to come from as well, and that's a part of building your subconscious, you know.
So let me ask you a question, Jared.
Okay, hit me.
Why aren't they teaching this in school?
School. That's a good question though. Is why don't we normalize behaviors and like learning about ourselves, our minds, the subconscious, mindfulness, meditation in school? Why don't we?
Why isn't there a class on the brain just by itself?
Yeah.
Just a class you go 40 minutes a day and you just like it reinforces the belief of how your brain works and positivity attracts positivity. Why is that not
Yeah,
in
like
school?
a basic class that just asks you, like, Timmy, why do you get fucking angry? Why do you decide to, grab a fork and stab little Jimmy? Like, why do you feel angry? Why do you feel mad? Like we don't like people as they grow, even through high school, they don't ask themselves these questions. Why do I get angry? Why am I sad? We're just taught that it's normalized. You should feel this way, but we don't understand why we feel this way.
Perfectly said. And just imagine going to school every day in high school or maybe yeah, I would say teach it in high school. Every day you go to school and for 40 minutes, one period a day, you have somebody who's certified to teach the subject remind you that positivity attracts to your life and gives you examples and lets you practice during the class, like whether it's like 5 minute meditation, because I know teachers gave you those nap times, so like maybe it's some instead of a nap time it's like focus on like just let me talk this, let the students hear, let the teacher talk about positivity, how to shape your life, how to get the life you want, and just explain it. I mean, our society. Imagine what that would do to our society.
Mm-hmm.
The intellect that would grow, like the people that would stand out and write a book, become a
Yeah.
Nobel Prize winner. Like, oh,
Yeah, I think a big problem with school is that we put so much focus on test scores, on getting the answer correct, rather than actually learning the content. So if you could have an environment where, you know, there is no right or wrong answers, there's just your answer and what you find out to be the truth. There's no pressure in being right and being the top of the class. There's just pressure to find the truth and to be your best version of yourself. Ask yourself all these vital questions of why am I angry today? Why am I sad? Why is improving the environment crucial for our enhancement in life? Like, why are these questions essential, and why do we need to be answering them? And instead of making so much emphasis on the right or wrong, we just put an emphasis on the truth and what we actually learn, because that's the important part. That's not getting an A in class. It's actually learning the content and developing our brains in the beneficial way that that we operate. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well said.
I mean, schools could do a better job, but you know, that also plays a part in the parents as well, and mentors in certain people's lives. So you know, little Timmy needs to learn to not stab little Jimmy. If that was the names I used before, I'm not too
Tim and
sure,
Jim. No, that was
but
what I will say is that one day we're going to be future parents. And to all future parents or current
maybe
parents out there, maybe. But
we'll
it's a
see.
possibility, you know. To all
Anything's possible.
to all
Anything.
okay.
But yeah,
To
keep going.
to all future parents and current parents out there, I think understanding the fact of how you're going to imprint your child with their experiences or how you react to certain situations with them, it's going to be instilled into their brain, into the subconscious, and you're shaping a human being. Basically, you're molding, you're shaping
You're
who they're
shaping their subconscious.
exactly, and you're gonna make them whoever they are. Basically, when they start, when they're in their 20s, like when they're adults, when they leave the house, like you have shaped them. Everything they've taken from you, all your anxieties, all your happy times, all your wisdom, all your mistakes, they're going to take all of it. It's going to be part of them. It's part of what they know. It's part of their values, their identity now. And then they're going to go out and do their own thing.
So
And
you're saying raise a kid like Jimmy, the one that gets stabbed, rather than Timmy, the one that's doing the stabbing.
sure, I think so. Jimmy's a good lad. He's getting A's in the class.
Oh, he's getting A's.
I don't know. But you know what I'm saying, right, Jared?
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. Um, I mean, yeah. I want to be mindful podcast, being also the parenting podcast as well. We could do it.
We could do it.
We could raise a child for just a test experiment for the podcast. How well can we raise a child? Now, is that something we really want to do? Definitely not, but it's something that would be interesting. So, who knows? Who knows? One video, it's you'll look up and how the want to be mindful podcast bros raise a child. That'd be a very interesting thing. But yeah, the subconscious, the subconscious, the subconscious. It's it's a crazy thing, and it's really something that we don't bring awareness to, and that we can bring awareness to. You can start to change your automatic behaviors. You can change your automatic biases and just how you view life, how you see the world. You can make it automatic that you see the positives in life, or you can make it automatic that you see the negatives in life. You can go throughout your day just being automatically acute to thinking of the worst in situations, thinking the worst in people. You know, you see a certain race and you just think of all the worst things of those people. Or you can program your mind to think of all the best in those people. You can think of their potential. You could think of what they're knowledgeable in and what they could teach you. And being in that place of mind, I think, is much healthier because you're just bringing much more positivity. You're bringing much more growth and learning into your life rather than the negative aspects that we see. Because, like, I believe in myself. Like, I see negative aspects in myself and I see positive aspects in myself. And if I make that shift, which I am trying to do, slowly get into that shift of thinking of more of those positive aspects, then I'm naturally going to see more of the positive aspects in my life. I'm naturally going to be more open to thinking of all the good things that I can do rather than the bad things. And I think everybody should pursue that. It's part of being more mindful, and that's part of programming your subconscious and being a powerful weapon, like a powerful weapon and a tool, rather than something that holds you down, a boulder on your back that you're trying to lug around and put in the world.
I agree with you completely, Jared. What I would like to add to that is, sorry, is that if you go to work and somebody around you complains and ask, like they always complain, you ask how you're doing, they say, yeah, I'm good, blah blah blah, and then they start complaining about whether it's something at work, and you agree with them, and you're like, yeah, I understand that completely. You're just adding to the fact that you're attracting more negativity to your life, to your subconscious. It's just reinforcing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a really specific example
Mm-hmm.
too.
And that's part of your environment as well. Environment can play a key, crucial part in building your subconscious, because if you're in one certain environment that links you to certain behaviors, everybody's negative around you. You're going to link negative behavior in being that environment. It's just going to grow accustomed to you. It's going to be natural. It's going to be part of your subconscious then that you don't even realize that it's being put into your life every single day. So changing up your environment here and there, going to new places, experiencing different people, experiencing different things in life, experiencing all that life has to offer instead of just staying in one place and growing your subconscious around that. And now if it's a positive place, if it's a great fucking place where you're learning and growing and learning, then that can be very beneficial area. Like, you can, if you stay in that place, it'd probably be a benefit to you. But if it's in the opposite way, then it can be very negative. And so
Very,
changing environment, being aware of your environment can be a crucial part.
very well said. I had a good thought. Where is it? It's there.
And you can also help change the environment as well. Like, you don't, just because an environment is a certain way doesn't mean that you just put yourself in there. You're just another pair of shoes that gets thrown on the rack with the rest of them. You can be that top prize shoe that just attracts all the customers, attracts growth, attracts learning. And I mean, if you understand what I'm saying there,
I
it's
do.
kind of a weird correlation,
I
but
understand. And I remember what I was going to say. Um, if you find this topic very interesting, the subconscious mind, I advise you to go look it up and do your own research, because there's so much about it, so much information you can take in. If you really take it slow and you soak it in, you pay attention, you focus for 20 minutes on an educational subconscious video, and maybe you watch another one the next day. Like, you just take in more information about the subconscious. Your subconscious is taking that in, and it's just like you're just automatically going to start building. You're going to be wanting better. If
mm-hmm.
you want better for your life and you're actively pursuing a better life, self-development, self-improvement, then your subconscious is going to eat it up, and it's going to start becoming part of your identity. And when it becomes part of your identity, man, it's going to be automatic. And when it's automatic, it feels good and easy to do, and you just keep on going up the ladder. You keep on climbing. No matter how hard the climb is,
Mm-hmm.
you keep going.
You keep
One
going.
hand, 1 foot at a time, you climb.
Mm-hmm.
And
If you got no arms or legs, use your mouth,
and it's
whatever it can be.
endless. It's endless, yeah. Use your mouth. Use your if you got them, if you got good grip with them and they're long enough, use
Use
your
your damn
nipples.
wiener. Oh,
No,
okay. Well,
you're still my thunder.
sorry.
It's okay. Use your nipples if
I
they're
thought we
long
were
enough.
thinking of the same thing though. But
No,
okay.
it's okay. If they're really long enough and they're kind of swingy enough, use your balls.
Use that thing as a lasso, whip it around, and throw it over your shoulder. Throw it up, climb with it. Use it as a grapple, like Batman. Like you're climbing towards the Riddler, and you got to take Jim Carrey's smirk off his fucking face, and you just sling your ball sack right up towards him, and you climb to that destination. That's what we're talking about, building your subconscious.
And it's endless. It's unlimited. You can keep going. You can keep on climbing. So, I hope this episode has helped a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
understand that the subconscious part of your brain is not really taught. A lot of people don't really understand the power of it, the supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a real thing. It's so real. Like what we're talking about here is real. And I know God, that was real. And I know it's hard for us to like we're not gods or anything. We're honestly we're nobodies. Me and Jared are just a bunch of nobodies. But that's okay because we're just focusing on trying to get better. Even though we're not perfect, we're not at our 100% potential.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we're trying to talk about it to each other and helping each other out and growing each and every day, we are getting better and we're noticing progress and results. That's what matters. That's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
So
And we're going to keep on harping on it, but do the work. Put in the work. That's what the podcast is about, is bringing a topic across and then actually doing the work about it, because that is what's going to have true growth. If you want true growth for yourself, if you want true fucking ownership of your life, of your mind, then you're going to want to put in the work that is necessary for you to grow. And building your subconscious, building those automatic behaviors, putting in that work, asking those essential questions, taking the time out of your day, realizing that it is an important thing to take this time, then you're going to do it. You're going to not, you know, watch so much TV or play so much video games. You're going to be asking yourself these essential questions and going towards the pursuit of self development and real growth if you do this. And if you stay on this track, then it will naturally come to you. You'll naturally see the results, feel better, but you got to put in the fucking work. And we're going to keep on harping on it, on methods and tips on how to do it. But that is the main essential, mission of the podcast, is do the work.
people need to understand that small victories, they add up. They add up real quick too. And once you understand that a small win every day, it will stack up and you'll look back and look at the beautiful foundation and beautiful building of new habits that are positive and you're just attracting it to your life. I mean, those small victories, man, it could be the smallest victory, but as long as you took a W that day, then that's a successful day. You won part of that battle. There's a
Mm-hmm.
war going on. And every battle you win, every high ground you take, you start taking more ground. Like that's a fun way to look at it. Like the purpose, the drive, being better every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the purpose. Self-development, the podcast, mindfulness. I want to be mindful.
Want to be mindful.
Open your mind. You got open-mindedness, okay? Not Gangnam style, but open-mindedness.
You condescending me?
I'm sorry, yeah. A little bit. But
There you are. Right.
but let me just say this. Open-mindedness. You got to be open to change. You got to be open to new ideas and identity change, because the way you've been doing things, and this is just me guessing, if you've been doing things a certain way for a long
Educated guessing.
right, if you've been doing things a certain way for a long time, you might be listening to this and thinking it's hopeless for me. I'm so far gone. I'm so far deep down. My brain is programmed a certain way and there's no way it will ever get reprogrammed. You're wrong. You're fucking wrong. Okay? Because you can reprogram it. you can do things that you didn't even know are capable of. I'm telling you, the human body and brain is the most craziest and just awe eye-opening miracle.
Jaw dropping.
Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. It's the most jaw-dropping miracle on this planet. Like the things your body can
100%.
do, but not even about your body. The things your mind can do, your brain. It's part of your body. I'm telling you, train yourself. You want to be mindful, then get mindful. You know what I'm saying?
Get mindful with the homies, with the boys. Be like Jimmy, don't be like Timmy. This is the Want to Be Mindful podcast. We could rant all day, so this was the Want to Be Mindful podcast. Have yourself a great day, folks.
Stay mindful.
Stay mindful out there.